I am RoboCop, the future of law enforcement. My prime directives are serve the public trust, protect the innocent, uphold the law, and get ready for a RoboCop series review!
Where to begin? First, I'm going to start by saying that I know there's all kinds of reviews out there already on these movies. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to not talk way so much on them and just try to keep it short, simple as I can. So this is RoboCop. I could talk for hours on that, but short, simple. So, here we go. Gonna start by showing the movies in my collection first. So, starting with the RoboCop trilogy box set on DVD. This was one of the first items I got when I was doing an upgrade from VHS to DVD. I forgot why I got rid of the VHS in the first place. I don't know. But maybe I'll get them sometime. Steelbook DVD of RoboCop here. 20th Anniversary Collector's Edition. Look at that cool looking artwork design. Way cool. The Blu-ray Arrow release of RoboCop, which I got back in December recently. All those special features. Previous special features from previous releases, as well as new stuff added. Wicked cool! And then that poster in the background came with this. I wish it was bigger, but it'll do. RoboCop II Blu-ray Collector's Edition from Scream Factory / Shout Factory. That's some cool looking design there. Yes! RoboCop III Collector's Edition Blu-ray. Backside there. Woo! Last but not least, the 2014 remake of RoboCop that lots of people do not like. For what this is, I'll say it's an okay movie. Could have been better. On with the review. So the first RoboCop from 1987, as I stated before, is one of my all-time favorites and a huge influence on me growing up. From the first moment I caught it on cable television at a very young age all those years ago, and it's stuck with me ever since. I don't know what it is. I guess it's just the amazing cast, the music, the action, the satire, the storytelling, the heart of it, the look, the science fiction, just everything about it. Oh, going on with the cast, Peter Weller in the title role as Alex Murphy and RoboCop does a phenomenal job. Then we got Nancy Allen, Kurtwood Smith, Ronnie Cox, Miguel Ferrier, Felton Perry, let's see, Robert Duquesne, if I pronounce his last name right, as Sergeant Reed, who doesn't get enough credit, in my opinion. Let's see, Paul McCrane, I can't think of everyone's name, but amazing cast. Everyone does a great job. Daniel Hurley as the old man. That name just popped up. I can't remember other names still, though. Anyway, did you know that Arnold Schwarzenegger was originally considered for the title role as RoboCop, but for some reason they didn't go with him, and then the role was considered for someone else, and then finally it went to Peter Weller. Though it would have been interesting to see an Arnold Schwarzenegger RoboCop take. Can you just imagine? Dead or alive, you're coming with me. Hasta la vista, baby. I don't know if you can say that in there. Amazing special effects, especially from that time, still holds up to this day. And how cool would it be to go back in time to be a part of the making of that film? All the hard-working crew that put their work into it. Phil Tippett, Bravo team, director Paul Verhoeven, the whole cast. I'm blanking on so many other names. Man, fantastic job to everyone on that movie. Oh, and then I remember Peter Weller. First time he got into the suit was a living hell for him. And of course, it was a living hell for, like, so many of the cast and crew. And of course, you can just imagine, making a movie is not easy. Thanks to a guy named Moni Yakim, if I'm pronouncing that right, who worked with Peter Weller on the Robo movements. And he really coped with it and just really helped him. Of course, you see just the fantastic job that Peter does. There's so much else I could say on this movie, and I'm blanking on so much. Forgive me on that. I could talk for hours and hours about this movie, but obviously I'm not going to do that. So, lastly, I'm just going to say I give RoboCop like 2 thumbs up. Doing like the Siskel and Ebert thing. Freaking awesome classic. And of course, who hasn't seen this movie, but it's recommended if you haven't seen it. On with the next one. RoboCop II, released in 1990. This one's interesting. This movie has gone through a troubled history, of course. Gone through different rewrites, disagreements, and whatnot. The original script for this movie from the original writers of the movie, Ed Neumeyer and Michael Miner, their script was not used. But some of it actually was, if I remember, used in the new rewrite by Frank Miller. And then when they brought on Irvin Kershner, the director, after going through directors, Irvin Kershner, who did Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, apparently there's some people that didn't get along with Irvin Kershner. Now, he's a creative guy, but I heard he was also like a jackass. And Nancy Allen had a real hard time with him, from what I heard, and especially in the interviews that she gave. Yeah, you can definitely tell. So, Peter Weller, who reprises his role in this movie, he's awesome. Love Peter Weller. Nancy Allen's awesome. Tom Noonan as Kane. The kid in this movie, who plays that little punk, I think the actor's name is Gabriel Damon. He was in The Land Before Time previously, and other movies I can't think of. Kane's girlfriend, Angie, that's the character's name. I forgot the actress's name, but the actress recently passed away in real life. I think it was this year. If somebody knows, then please comment down below and tell me. Let's see. Daniel Hurley returns in this movie. Felton Perry. The woman who plays Dr. Fax in it. Belinda something. Gosh, I'm blanking on so much. But anyway, the cast members, they do a great job in this movie. Officer Duffy. I forgot the actor's name, but I love the part where RoboCop says, "Officer Duffy, have a seat." You sold us out, Officer Duffy. Where is Kane? I could just go on and on. But anyway. Yeah, this movie is a different step from the first one. Boy, the music is in a different range, if that makes sense. Very different from the first one. You don't have the iconic music from the first one. But I will say the music for RoboCop 2 is still pretty cool. Then the action scenes are pretty cool. And when Kane turns into a robot, the second, RoboCop, spoiler alert, pretty cool moments there. And I love the fight at the end between Kane and RoboCop. Yeah. Now, of course, this movie has its flaws. Despite the flaws, I still think it's a pretty entertaining film. And yeah, there's not really a whole lot else I can think of or say. Like, if I was to go into like a long discussion with someone on this movie, I could like think of more I could say, if that makes sense. So, I'm just gonna end that by saying RoboCop 2, it's still a pretty cool film. Aside from the flaws, I'll still give it 2 thumbs up. But anyway, on to RoboCop 3 now. That movie released in 1993, if I remember. It's first 92, and then they put it on the shelf for a while, and then it finally got the release in 93. Fred Decker, who takes over in the director's chair this time for the 3rd movie. He did The Monster Squad and Night of the Creeps previously, and those are 2 classic movies. Hopefully I talk about those sometime. Anyway, this movie, just like RoboCop 2, went through a bunch of different changes, and of course it shows. And Frank Miller returns to pen the script. No Peter Weller this time, because Peter Weller was off doing David Cronenberg's Naked Lunch movie at the time. Let's see, Nancy Allen is back. And then the other cast that includes like Rip Torn, CCH Pounder, Bradley Whitford, Felton Perry, Stephen Root. Did I say him? No, not yet. You remember Stephen Root from King of the Hill and other numerous movies. With Robert Burke in the title role this time, I gotta say, while he's no Peter Weller, he still manages to do a pretty cool job. And of course, there's just like with the problems with this movie, it's not rated R this time. It's PG-13 because they want to go with a wider audience. Orion Pictures, who released the movie, going through different problems at the time, bankruptcy. So that's why this movie is just a box office failure. They could have done like different things to improve, make a better movie. But for what it is, still entertains, in my opinion. Of course, not everyone enjoys it. They say it's like one of the worst in the series. No, trust me, there is worser movies out there. So, I'm not going to spend too much more time talking about this one, so we can get to the 2014 remake. So, I'm just going to say RoboCop 3 still entertains. I'll give it 1 thumbs up instead of 2, but you just have a fun time with it. Now, the 2014 remake. Oh man, before I get to that one, I would say there was a TV series in the 90s after the 3rd movie. It was RoboCop: The Future of Law Enforcement, and it only lasted for, I think, 1 or 2 seasons. I think it was 1 season. And I've seen that show, of course. And not like the best, but it still feels nostalgic, if that makes sense. Then they did an animated series, I remember, in between. I think before the 2nd movie. It was after the 1st one. Somewhere around those years. And that was a pretty cool series. Let's see, then there was RoboCop Prime Directives in the early 2000s. Not the best, but still entertaining. I caught it on the Sci-Fi Channel years ago in childhood. On to the 2014 remake now. It's PG-13, not rated R. What were they thinking? And just how they put this movie together, like, a lot of it is a mess. Like the shaky camera shots, or the villain in this movie that's not really that interesting. Like, he's no Clarence Boddicker from the original. And Let's see, Michael Keaton, though, as the bad guy. Like, it's not one of his best roles, but I'll say Michael Keaton is still enjoyable in this. Let's see, I love Gary Oldman in this movie. And let's see, Joel Kinnaman as Murphy in RoboCop this time. He does a pretty good job for the most part. I wouldn't say, like, the best. He's not Peter Weller. But still, it's a good job. Jackie Earle Haley in this movie. Samuel L. Jackson. He's pretty cool in this. Like, yeah, there's many problems with this one. First, you gotta make it rated R, and then you gotta have, like, a better structure of this movie. Better storytelling, too. But though I will say, like, the cool moments, there's much of the action scenes I enjoy in this, and one of the messed up scenes where Gary Oldman's character, Dr. Norton, he shows Murphy, like, what's left of him with the lungs, and, like, you just see his brain, and there's just nothing else left. Oh, his hand. And they decided to go with a human hand this time instead of having the black hand, like in the original. That was a cool idea. Let's see the change in the suit a little bit. I like they did a little tweak into the original suit, and then it looked cool, and then they went with a black suit. And of course, there's a lot of people that don't like the black suit, but I'll say that's not all that bad looking. It's not my favorite. Oh yeah, like in the movie with Murphy, he's showing him with his family. Like, that's an interesting idea, but it could have been executed better, if that makes sense. Like, felt emotionless and just not really invested that much into it. So yeah, when Murphy gets blown up by his vehicle, and they revealed that the bad guy put the bomb under his vehicle, they did it too soon. So it's like, it's just the investment in there is just not as much. Yeah, so with this movie, could have had a better bad guy, just more interesting plot. Just could have been done better, and make it rated R and have lots of blood. But still, there's some like disturbing little moments there. Yeah, so there's not much else I can say on this movie. I'll just say, like, half a thumb for this one. It's alright, but the original will always be better. Anyways, so I'm going to end the video here. Boy, this was like a real hard one to do. And of course, I've said before, this is my first time doing a movie review. So hopefully I did good. I'm not sure. And see what I can improve on for the future. Just try to think of all kinds of different things. So, with that being said, hope you liked it. If you didn't, that's alright. So, till the next video, take care, and bye-bye.